You know, our German culture, we like to celebrate, we like to have a good time, and what better way to do that with sausage and beer and food and lots of good folks.
It's just a great, fun activity for the community. After a long, hot summer, people are ready to get out and dance the polka. With all the pomp and circumstance, get good music going, and get all the dignitaries up and introduce everybody's part in Wurstfest.
And we also have the tapping of the keg of beer.
With the biting of the sausage was the grand opening of the festivities to come for the next 10 days.
Not a bad deal. If you're there for the opening ceremony, get in the right place at the right time, you get a free beer and free sausage, so can't beat it. Thankfully, this year we probably had record attendance. That says a lot for a small town like New Braunfels to have a 10-day festival, and we have over 100,000 people come in. The speaking of the German language, the art of making sausage and those type of things, the Wurstfest has kept that alive, so it's very important to our community. This is the New Braunfels Smokehouse. We started in business in 1945. It's in the business of making quality hickory smoked meats. The smokehouse was one of the original vendors for the Wurstfest in 1962 when it started. Wurstfest was supposed to be an event to feature the sausage makers in New Braunfels. That's what it started out originally with. You know, at that time I think there was like 25 or 30 local sausage makers. There's only 2 sausage makers left in New Braunfels, us and one other company. We've seen a lot of changes and a lot of things happen at Wurstfest. You can go back to when Rocky and I were first starting at this. We were, 15, 16 years old, and at that time it was actually cold cuts and bread and pickles and that type of thing. We walked around with little boards and we had these in front of us.
We really did.
And part of that was out of necessity because in the beginning we didn't really have the electricity, the gas, and all those type of things that you take for granted, every day. So you had to make do with cold cuts and things of that nature to keep the crowd, appeased and keep them fed. When I was president, Rocky got this brainstorm to come up with make a giant sausage, and so we actually made and stuffed about a 450-pound sausage.
So it was fun making too. So instead of these little tiny pieces of string, of course had to have a big rope on it to make it stand out.
I guess it's almost a foot in diameter.
Oh yes, it is.
And about, I think, 30 feet long. It was impressive, and of course they got a lot of free press for the Wurstfest, Association at the same time. There's a lot of memories that you never forget. I mean, it just kind of goes along with you.
It kind of gets in your blood, quite honestly. So many good things that come out of the festival as far as the nonprofit organizations that put a lot of money in their coffers to do really worthwhile things for the community.
For a small community like New Braunfels to have that kind of an organization in town that has the wherewithal to make all that happen, it's absolutely tremendous.
Ein Prosit.
Ja, kommen Sie und bei. Das war sehr schlecht. In other words, that was pretty bad. In Neu Braunfels ist das Leben schön.